Alright folks, welcome to this episode. Today's video is a special one because we're coming to a place of RAF history, Army history, and even American Army history too, because this is one of the few remaining listening stations left in Scotland or even in the UK, and at one time it would have been connected, listening on big aerials to any radio signals from the German army in World War II and World War I. And this was actually connected to Bletchley Park in England, which is the famous place which cracked the Enigma code, if I get the light just right there. So here we go folks, this is the front entrance. The first time I came here, this place did not look too bad, and every time I come it's more and more destroyed, and it's a shame to see it. But look at this, they had high electrical power coming into this shed. This is all the control boxes and stuff for those items. So we can see in here there's been an ops deck, which has probably been in the main room that we'll go and have a look at. Hallway in the offices. Now here's an interesting thing, battery charger. So, and there's a charger rack. So I think these two were potentially linked to some battery system they had, which also charged from a big generator in a separate building. The generator's not there now, but we'll go and have a look at that building once we've looked at this scene. So when I first came here, there was a door here and there was a door here. This is the door. Look at, I can't believe the state of it. It's such a shame to see old buildings like this go to waste. Look at the old extractor fan. And then all the bars on the window here, because it was such a secure site in its day. This is some of the electrical symbols. I'm not sure if it's some sort of earthing probe that was on here. You can sort of see the outline, like the shadow board kind of idea. But it says here danger area, safe area. 100 kilovolts, it's telling you kilovolts and stuff. It must have been today we powering that massive aerial outside. I'm just noticing all the wires run from that front door thing over there, and they run right up that pipe there in the roof and along, and then into this room and right along. See, this is a common thing here in military buildings. They've got this, it looks like a ladder, but that's where the heavy cables would have come into the building. There's a lot of wind blowing in these windows. Here's the entry point for those cables. And outside there is where the big mast was. This room, well, this building features British plugs and American plugs, because I'm sure it was the US Army that took this over after Britain had finished with it. For the Cold War, it was the US Army. Like, here's some unusual plugs. I'm not sure if that's an original corner table. Here's an American socket here. Oh no, it's no. So that's a different type of socket, a round one. It's maybe been for some of their fancy machines, because I think this was the ops room We can see the remains of the round lights on the roof. This one's got some of its glass. It's a shame places like this get destroyed. It should have been sealed up and taken care of. It could have almost been an interesting museum. Here's something, folks, I've just noticed on the floor. Now, I believe that is the thing that they used to keep the fire blanket in originally. I'll switch my torch on here and we'll have a look in this little room. Here's another fire blanket box. Oh, they've got an air conditioning system up here. So that air conditioning system is probably connected maybe through to the offices or the bedrooms. Yeah, this place is just totally destroyed. Look at this interesting feature here. And I think when I first came here, on the door there it said fire exit. So this has maybe been the gaffer's office, like the general's office, and if they'd picked up any interesting radio chatter out here, they would have rushed with a message through this door. Come in! Sergeant would be in there. They would deal with it and then send the information they'd received. They would send that down to higher authorities at bigger radio communication areas. I've just noticed in this room here, American plug. What's this, folks? So I'm guessing that is potentially where it was connected into the phone line, into the GPO phone line. Yes, we'll go and have a look further down. This must have been, like, I think, the control room. So we'll see if we can figure out what the other rooms were. There's been a fire in this room here. We can see that it's charred. Right, here we go. Here's an interesting thing, folks. This light glass on the roof here is intact. So that's what it looked like. It's so interesting, folks. It's a terrible day. I walked like 2 miles in the wind and rain to get here. But it's totally worth it. I hadn't been here for years. So I'm not sure what that room next to us was that was burnt out. Look at this scene, it's still intact with the roof. It's got all the details. And look, it's got an aircon outlet there. It's probably been connected to that aircon machine at the far end. Look at the old, it's a Bakelite door handle here. Pretty crazy how nature takes over. Look at these old window handles. Oh, so they could open the iron bars here like a window. Which is a pretty cool detail. And then we'll cross the hallway here. I'm guessing this might have been an office, but I'm guessing it was maybe a bedroom actually. It's had a phone line in it. It's the old school Bakelite, like phone terminal things. And then look at this old heater. This will be later than obviously probably when the British Army had it. This has probably been added when the American military took over. And then the big switch box. And then this one's had a little curtain at the top. Like I say, the first time I came here, all these windows and stuff were still in place. See, all the plug sockets in this room are American sockets. And then the Bakelite door handle's been smashed off. And then this here, this is the giant water tank which used to be on that cement plinth there at the end. And that's been ripped off there by vandals once again. But we can see the state of it. It's rusted at one ear. It's all history, folks. And then this here is the bathroom, shower and toilet area. The paint's all flaking. Look at the old toilet. Look at the view out here too. The sea's over there about a mile. I can actually hear the sea. Look at this old lock, folks. That's crazy. And then the old shower area with the little soap dish in the corner. And then I remember as well the shower curtain used to be on here. This is the sink area. That's a military sink, folks. Lying down there in the debris. This camera's not such a wide angle as the one that I usually use for my videos, but it should be a lot clearer. And here's the mirror. Somebody's gotten 7 years bad luck, folks. Because it's broken. Look at this old temperature control here. That's where you would have hung your trousers when you were in the shower. Look at this old, it's once again, they're all the same Bakelite handles. And then moving across, we're in the kitchen. Oh, we've had a starling nest in here. So I'm sure this pile, this is where the cooker used to sit here. But now the cooker is fallen down. This is a 1950s cooker. And the first time I came here, this cooker was in good condition, still in situ, where it had been. But look at the thing. It's a shame. It's just, they've knocked it over because they can knock it over. It's like, what's the point, eh? They just find something that they're able to knock over and then knock it over. I don't see what's cool about that, or fun. Here's an old heater. It seems to be called a Belling Belmont. Here's another temperature control. They've had the heat a bit warmer in the kitchen here. Yeah, so I think maybe this was last renovated and updated probably in the 1950s, this whole building. Which is quite crazy, 'cause they kept using it until 1991, but I can't imagine they were cooking with this cooker in 1991. But maybe they were. What a cool place. here's the next building at the end there. It's got its own little substation, little electric station, and also it's got a generator shed. Here's a detail in the kitchen before we head back down there. This is where that fire blanket used to live that we saw through the house. It used to be bolted onto the wall there. Look at these old taps, I hadn't even looked at this. Incredible, folks. So, that's what an RAF listening station looks like once it's been left and abandoned. It's a few miles out of town, but obviously young people do come here and kick holes in the wall and stuff. I'm not sure how focused that was. I just realised it wasn't focused when I looked down. Look at this. Think of all the interesting things which has been clipped on here at one time. Maybe inspirational wartime posters for the people here, or maybe just information for them. Look at this, old hooks. So there we go, folks. Oh, I've not been in this room here, have I? Look, it's got an old mattress in it. Yeah, so this must be another bedroom here. There could have been quite a lot of people staying here really, if you consider the far end room was a bedroom, this scene, and then maybe this big one here too that's been on fire. Who knows, folks, who knows? And then look at this electrical items here. They're crazy. This is what we first looked at when we came in the door. Just try to see what they say, folks. Tower light, that one says. It's hard to read some of these other ones. When you see this much wiring though, you can, it must be heavy industrial setup. Right, we'll move on to the next building, folks, which is I think the next building is the power station kind of building, where they were creating the power, or where the main power was coming into the site. Once again the door's smashed. Here we are, folks, look at this. So I think they were creating some of the power from here, from this giant substation, which would have been probably making all kinds of noises back in the day. That's what that is there. But I think this wiring over at this side is potentially from the generator, which is in the other shed. Look how heavy this wiring is, folks. Three-phase. It's crazy big current though they've been using here. Crazy amounts of power. There would have been a fire extinguisher here at one time. Focus there. And then look at the old light switch. The old electrical meter. So like, this is all the interesting things about a base like this. This is how it was actually getting powered. And it would have taken some absolute serious power. Look at this here. It's incredible. Engine shed, that'll be, look. Socket power for the building. Common power, communication power. So this is the one for probably the antenna, which is that big lever there. And then this old safety sign, folks. And then under the floor they've had all these cement bits, like covering all the ways where all the cables and the pipes go, all the conduits. That must have been a serious earth wire there. See the way it's joined? And look at that, there's the live power cable that was going into the building. And that's connected to those big electrical things we saw at the door of the building. See, this has had an old roof, and then look, there's been a new roof added lower down at a later date with tiles on it, probably to modernise it. And then it's got a door like this. So it's crazy, the army had all this defending the country, all over the country, crucial locations like this. So much money spent, and then after the war's over it's all just wasted. It's all just left. And this here would have been the generator shed. That's where the exhaust would have gone out the wall there. And then here it would have been probably drawing in all the air it was needing as it was running. It's pretty cool, folks. Look at that, it's got like a glass something inside that hole. What would that be? Oh, it would have had a wee lens on there probably, and that would have lit up. The bulb will still be in there in one piece, which is quite cool. Look at this old heater as well. Auto Vector. Dimplex. Probably 1950s when this was fitted, the same as like the kitchen and that. And once again in here, American plug sockets. So that is cool, folks. I think it'll be so windy outside. I'm not sure if we can walk around the perimeter of this building. Look at this, the cable is earthed to the fence, they've earthed it. Okay, what this bracket is here as well. That's where the exhaust silencer was bolted onto the wall. So, it'd be cool to hear that running. Bet it was a big engine. This is where their fuel tank would have been for it. It looks like this was earthed as well on this pole. Oh, I'll tell you actually, that's where the pipe there would have gone in. So that's the fuel pipe hole there. The fuel pipe was feeding the engine right there through that hole. So I'm sure if like the Germans invaded or something and they wanted to shut this generator down, they could just cut the fuel pipe. Look at this, folks, there's an underground, oh, it's a drain system. And then under this lid here will be probably what I would think all the wiring systems. That's the heavy wire going across the top connecting the two buildings. Yeah, so this is where they would have had their diesel or their fuel for the generator. And look at this, folks. It's the same sort of pump that you get on an ROC bunker. Look at it, one of the chairs is lying in there. Yeah, so that's the same sort of pump you get on an ROC bunker, and it's for the same era, because by the time this was finished with, it was still the Cold War. So that's maybe been taken from an ROC bunker for that. Look at the back of this place, folks. It's just totally rotten now along by the roof. Here's the outside of the aircon system. Julie Air or something, I think it says on the make of it. This is where we saw the wires going into the building. It's totally raining again, folks. This is where the mast centre point was, and it would have gone straight up from here. And a cool point is there's another fence line out there, and then there's another fence line out here that we can see, and then there's a third bit there, and that's where they connected the guy ropes on to hold this massive mast up. And then there's been this smaller mast next to it as well, maybe for more local radio communications. Here's the control room. What a place, folks. What a place. Sorry for the wind if it's getting windy. Look at this, here's the old marker for the phone line. So aye, that's the old marker. General Post Office, that's who did the phone line, I'm sure. It's maybe still the same phone line that's connected around some of the places around here. Anyway, folks, it was cool to look around here. I'll end the video here.